Hello and welcome to another episode of Saracen's Travels. We are Andrew and Irene, a couple who took early retirement to go sailing the world. Slowly. Our yacht is called Saracen, a Beneteau Oceanus 473. In this episode, we sail to the island archipelago called Les Saints. Hope you enjoy the episode. We set off with no wind, so we motored for half an hour or so and under darkening skies, getting greyer by the minute. Squalls then drifted in our direction and the wind picked up to 20 plus knots, so we got a good sail all the way up to Les Saints. Our sail plan is the first reef main in Genoa. Since we're on a starboard tack, we have right of way over all the boats travelling in the opposite direction. We aim to get through this small gap, avoiding the outlying rocks. As Irene's on the helm, it's her responsibility that we don't hit the rocks. Once the squall's all past, the sun comes out and it's a beautiful day.
Within the islands there are 3 separate mooring fields and many spots to anchor. We decide to anchor at Anse Gallet, just beneath the biggest hill. We anchored in 10 metres of water and let out 45 metres of chain. We did this before someone else anchored next to us, as we're a bit of an anchor magnet. And guess what? Someone does. The village is very picturesque and at times very busy. This has been due to us cruisers and the big cruise ships that disembark their guests here most days. There's also the day trippers who venture over here by ferry from the main island of Guadeloupe. We roamed down the main street where there was very few cars, and most of the transport is either by scooter or electric golf buggies. Not that you need transport to get around here, it's very small, about the size of Little Cymru actually.
The anchorage is quite open to the north and west and can be very uncomfortable when the swell has a northerly or westerly component within it. Keep meeting S.V. Henry since the Faroes to here. Small world is sailing.
We did the peninsula walk up Morne Morel to Caroline Battery, accompanied by Maurice and Jackie from Fiddler's Green. En route we find the Pearly Gates, however St Peter wasn't there and the gates were firmly locked, thankfully. This battery is named after the Commandant's wife. She took her own life at this spot when her husband didn't return from battle. She thought he was dead, but in actual fact he was still alive and well. The next day we took the dinghy over to Islet à Cabri for a walk. This island was heavily fortified with Fort Josephine, and there are gun embankments all over the island.
The island is full of hermit crabs and they're trying to get out of the glare of the hot sun. It must get pretty hot inside of their shells. Cooked crab, anyone?
This is a koala cactus. They attack you, be warned. On the way back to the dinghy dock, Andrew gets attacked by a jumping koala cactus. We didn't have any video of this, however, when you brush by these cacti, they look like this.
Undo this. During the night, a yacht comes into our anchorage, and we soon quickly start to drag. We suspect that he has caught our anchor.
We had to move to the outskirts of the anchorage and re-anchor in the pitch black. It was a pretty tense few minutes as we motored around the other yachts. We were actually very lucky, as we were still up. Wouldn't like to think of what could have happened had we not been awake. The next morning we moved back into the anchorage and Andrew dives down to check that the anchor's set.
The wind turns westerly and the anchorage becomes bouncy due to the swell, so we pick up the anchor and move around into Marigot Bay, where we stay for a few more nights.
The cloud cleared over Guadeloupe and we get a brilliant view of the Grand Souffriere, standing at 1,467 metres above the sea level. We actually get to see the plume of smoke coming from the active volcano. Stunning.
We left on a reaching 14 knots of wind with full Genoa and first reef main to cross the passage between Les Saints and Guadeloupe. We hit the southern point of Guadeloupe and the wind disappears, as we thought it might.
So we motored to our intended anchorage at Basse-Terre on Guadeloupe. It was a bit lumpy, so we reset the sails and headed further up the west coast of Guadeloupe. We were now in a full beat mode, sailing into 25 to 30 knots of northerly wind. Where were the trade winds?
Passed by this big ship at CPA, closest point of approach, of about 150 feet. We were ready to radio him up, and then he bears off and eventually passes behind us. You can see from the video that we have our first reef main. This reduces our sail plan. We generally sail with this all the time, as the winds are always stronger than forecast and normally 25 knots plus most of the time.
As you can see, we're still flying our Ocean Cruising Club flag. However, the yellow triangle tip is now very frayed. Obviously the design is a bit poor. I think a square pennant would have been better. We managed to get our ley lines so that we tacked directly into our chosen anchorage for the night at Anse de Barque. We dropped the hook in this anchorage, which is actually quite tight, and at dusk there were 6 boats alongside us anchored. We see lovely cloud colours just after sunset.
Thanks for watching. Please remember to leave a like and subscribe to our channel. In our next video we'll explore some of the western side of Guadeloupe. Saracen out. See you!